Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I'm glad you're here. First off, I want to say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you guys and gals. I appreciate you more than you know. And I'd like to say thank you to anybody who finds their way in here for my weird knife EDC content. I really appreciate you. If you're so inclined, hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon. It really helps me out. So today, I was going to look at some knives from my collection that I'm fortunate here in my home state of Alabama that they're legal to carry, but in many states, unfortunately, they're either illegal or there are restrictions on them. And I'm talking about automatic gravity knives, non-traditional opening knives, in a couple of different categories. This little knife is the Kershaw Launch 9. It is unique in that some states will not recognize its legality, but states like California, because of the blade size being under 3 inches, will allow it to be a legal carry. So this was basically designed to be California legal, but there are some states that because it's on a spring and it's actuated by a push of a button, that it's not a legal knife. I'm lucky in my home state, we've got one law, one prohibitive knife law, and that is that you cannot conceal a Bowie knife on your person. You can carry a Bowie knife, you just can't conceal it. So I feel pretty safe. Moving on to knives that are going to be, unfortunately, not even California legal, but about 7 or 8 other states that these are absolutely illegal in, and in some cases there are going to be restrictions on where you can carry them and how you can carry them. This here is the Protech PT207. This is a smaller version of the SNG. It's a version that's reminiscent of the Strider 207 or PT, which is their smaller little automatic. This is a mixed Strider Protech collaboration. When I say smaller, it comes in right around 7 inches. So it's a 7-inch knife, aluminum textured handle, automatic deployment, and a Magna Cut blade steel. So this knife, of the knives that I have, and I'll show you several others, are pretty tactical in nature and design. Yes, they're great cutters. They're great knives for EDC work. They make easy cutting out of just about anything you're going to be cutting, from cardboard to paper to, you know, Slurpee thieves, whatever the case may be. The PT207 is one of my favorite Protech automatics just because of its size. It's easy to carry, deep carry clip, great blade material, great design. Unfortunately though, if you live in New York or some other cities, states, you're not going to be able to own this legally. Moving on, we come to probably my most gentleman-friendly or gentleman carry illegal knives in several states, and that is this Protech Newport. The Protech Newport was recommended to me by Brother Jared Neves when I asked what he would recommend for the first real automatic to see if I would like it as an EDC knife. And he recommended the Newport because of its size, its shape, its ability and ease to manipulate it with one hand. It's got a very EDC friendly blade. It's in aluminum, smooth aluminum handles with an S35VN blade. Again, lighter spring. It springs open with all the authority that you would need. However, it does close quite easily. This knife's going to come in right around the size of a bug out, I believe. I don't have my comparison knives out here. 7 inches also. So this guy is going to be just about the same length as the PT207, just a much more gentlemanly style, where the PT207 is going to be more of a tactical style. But it carries, again, with a deep carry clip, works very well in the pocket. Very nice knife, pokey stabby, but very EDCable, which brings us to my next Protech, an illegal knife in most of those 7 states. You're not going to get away with this one. because this is the Protech SNG, Protech Strider SNG. It's in 154 cm. It is fully blacked out. It is an absolute beast of a cutter, of a defense knife, of a tactical knife. It's just that good. It is, to me, full size, has a very nice front finger choil. I can hold it back here if I want to, if I'm going to use it in a reverse grip. However, the choil works perfectly. The spring's a good bit stronger, but it's still easy enough to close and open with one hand, right? So, as opposed to having a flipper tab, or a front flipper, or thumb studs, just because it's got this automatic button, that's what is going to classify it illegal in certain states. Which brings me to a little breakaway. It's why it's so important to get involved with kniferights.org. If you get a second, go to kniferights, all one word, .org. Read about the organization. Consider getting a yearly membership or making a small donation, because they're the ones that go out and lobby to get some of these archaic knife laws taken off the books. Because to be honest with you, that knife opens very quickly automatic. That knife opens very quickly without an automatic. So kind of really a non-issue. It's just old laws that the books still recognize that can get people in a lot of unnecessary jams. But this is the Protech Strider SNG, the big brother to the PT-207, and one of my favorites, which brings me to one of my favorites and my largest Protech. This is the Protech Magic Whiskers. This is my covert illegal in 7-state knife. The reason is, if the police found it on me, I don't know if they'd be able to open this knife. They might try to pull the blade. There's no button on this knife. This knife opens by letting your palm push on this scale, and it releases that super stiff spring. So literally, I could say, boom, and it's open. I handed this to my mom. She was not able to open it. I handed it to my buddy A to Z, who has a Magic Whiskers #1, and it took him a while to figure out how to open it. So the Magic Whiskers 2 is definitely a full-size knife. I want to say it's a 4-inch blade in 154 cm. Comes in right around 8.5 inches, a little bit more. 3 3/4 inch blade. 3 3/4 inch cutting area. You got a nice handle area of 4.5 inches to right here. So the Magic Whiskers, it's a very neutral knife looking knife. In your pocket, it looks just like hell, a buck 110 for all practical purposes. You take it out, unless I tell somebody, they're not going to know how to open it unless they've opened one before. I love the Protech Magic Whiskers 2. I wrestled with the Protech Magic Whiskers 1 because I'm not usually a big knife guy, but I'm so glad I picked this one instead because it is a big knife, carries like a small knife, and I love the way that spring actuates. Moving on, we come to the gray area knife. This may be illegal in more knives or more states than just the 7 that we were talking about for automatics. This is a gravity knife. This feels one of those weird laws where A, don't know why it's on the books, B, don't know how it's going to be interpreted from officer to officer or from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. This knife does not have a spring. It just has and deploys based on gravity. You open it, it closes. You open it, it opens. Closed, slide it open, slide it closed. I'm under camera. So you've got this out the front, manual, but it does not have a actuator, a spring, a flipper tab. It just has gravity. So in my state, it's 100% okay to have it. In some states, it's a gray area. And in some states, it's not illegal. Good way to find out is go to BladeHQ, put in your zip code, see if it says you can send it to you. But this is the Reate. This is the Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive in green camo carbon fiber. And this is the Exo-M Tonto in LMAX. I love this knife. I find it very, very useful as an EDC knife. Unfortunately, not legal in a lot of states. Moving on, we come to a whole nother class of automatics. These are, in some of those cases, maybe illegal where the out the sides are legal. This is the old stiletto, out the front style knife. These are my favorite automatics. Because they're very easy to use. The ones that John at EMP EDC designed are both very utilitarian blades. I've got the Gen 2, which is this beautiful little Bowie blade, a nice hollow grind flat, compound on the tip. The original Pulse is a wonderful Wharncliffe, beautifully slicey, deep hollow grind. So both of these knives, even though they are both out the front, and both very tactical knives, don't get me wrong, they both have very, very utilitarian blades. For me, they work very, very well. This is the OTF Gen 2 in Frag, LMAX, or MagnaCut and Frag, and this one is an aluminum LMAX and, oh, this is MagnaCut too, I'm sorry, and a Wharncliffe blade. So these are two banging out the fronts that I'll use as EDC knives. They're going to be legal in my state, but check your state laws because they're not legal in a lot. Moving on, we come to the most economical out the front or automatic knife I have in my collection, and it's this big boy right here. This is the Maxace Neptune. The Maxace Neptune is a very interesting knife in that it uses a blade steel called SD Magic. SD Magic is a kitchen commonly used steel. However, it's very slicey and works very well on these out the fronts. This is a full-size knife with kind of a rounded up drop point, but it's really a tanto because you've got this tanto tip here. It is crafted out of aluminum and the SD Magic blade steel with the Sanmai treatment. I don't know if you can see that Sanmai around the base of that cutting edge. You've got grip tape kind of infused into the handle here to give you a very good grip. You've got an absolutely thunderous spring. And this Neptune, guys, came in at $108. 108. So if I measure this from the back, it's 8 3/4. If I measure it from the glass breaker, it's 9 inches. The blade is going to be 3 3/4. The handle is going to be 5 inches. So just a very, very nice full-size package that has a wonderful loose pocket clip that goes in and out of pocket like a dream. I love the style of the blade. These do come in other blade styles. This one comes in a dagger, comes in a couple of others, a serrated dagger, but this is the one I wanted. I'm kind of a single edge guy, and I love that knife. Moving on to the most recent and my made in the USA out the front that I'm absolutely in love with. Probably my favorite out the front. The clip is perfect. It's an ingenious aluminum clip or titanium clip. Got a very comfortable handle on this knife. You've got a button that actuates like a dream. You've got this MagnaCut stone-washed blade that is, to me, sexy as you could want. And this is the Axial Gear or Axial Knife Company Shift Gen 2. It is a slim but very, very aggressive out the front knife that's available in this Tonto. It's available in a Wharncliffe. It's available in a drop point. It's available in a dagger. It's available in a lot of different styles. So really, depending on what you're looking for, if it's legal in your state, I used to not look at automatic knives. I was not that interested in them. I had a Boker, and then I got the little Kershaw that I showed you first, just kind of as a novelty. But late in my collecting, I'd say in the last year and a half, I've really gotten more interested in automatic knives. I like the workmanship, I like the designs, I like the convenience of not having to always be opening my knife, where I can just do it automatically. There is a lot to be said for that. But the automatic knives, unfortunately, are going to be frowned on in some jurisdictions. If you go to kniferights.org, they have all the different laws there, so you can look at all the different states and how they rate different knives. But guys, these are my top 10 illegal knives. And luckily, they're legal in my state, but they might not be legal in yours. So check them out. Check out your state laws. Don't turn your back on automatics if they're legal in your state, because they are very handy dandy little tools. Not because they're aggressive, not because they're weapons, but because I can have a handful of gear. I can be getting ready to make a cut. I can reach down into my pocket, pull out my knife, open it, make the cut, close it, put it back in my pocket. I mean, there's a lot to be said for out of your pocket, open the knife, make the cut, back in your pocket. One hand is all you need. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate each and every one of you. As always, what I ask is if you'll look out for the guy or gal to your left, look out for the guy or gal to your right, look out for each other as you all go forward with love in your heart. And most importantly, choose debate, not hate. Talk to one another, understand one another. You don't have to agree with one another. That'd be no fun. But just choose debate over hate, guys. Hate the game, not to play it. I love you all. Do me a favor. Have a great night, great afternoon, or a great morning. Until I see you again, peace.